United States, and some radical left-wing politicians from the same party of the current president, Lula da Silva, they asked the Attorney General to seize my passport and also to arrest other journalists, Brazilian journalists that is living in United States, Paulo Figueiredo. And but the thing is, when all of that was going on, I was in United States, and they didn't know about that. It was during the Carnival holiday. So when they asked for the Attorney General to seize my passport, the justice from the Supreme Court, Alexandre de Moraes, got the case to him and gave 5 days to the Attorney General to answer this question. Yes or no question, very simple one, to seize my passport. So when they discovered that I was in the United States, the Attorney General did not answer Moraes within 5 days. I start to delay my trip back to Brazil, and the Attorney General never answered this question, this request from Alexandre de Moraes. So after 18 days, I decided that it wasn't safe to go back to Brazil because in the case that they seize my passport, automatically they would put me in the same investigation of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is under investigation in Brazil. It's called the fake news inquiry on the hands of Alexandre de Moraes, or maybe in the investigation about the January 8th coup d'etat that I call the Disneyland coup d'etat. I can explain that better later. And after I announced, I did a video saying that I'm going to exile myself with my family in the United States. And right after that, in 2 hours, so the Attorney General answered the request from Alexandre de Moraes, saying that he was not going to seize my passport. And at the same days, Alexandre de Moraes dismissed the case, saying that my activities in the United States wasn't illegal. It is clear that it's not illegal. What I'm doing here is a congressman work, trying to get some support from outside. It's a thing that all of the left-wing politicians in Brazil did in the past when Bolsonaro was the president of Brazil and things like that. But the problem is, even dismissing the case, everybody knows that Alexandre de Moraes can, from one day to the other, seize my passport, put me on investigation that he controls, because he did that in the past. Not always Alexandre de Moraes follow the orders of the Attorney General. Only to give you one example is the Felipe Martins case, the former special advisor for President Bolsonaro. He was arrested for more than 6 months. And twice, the Attorney General asked Alexandre de Moraes to release him, to let him go free. And Alexandre de Moraes did not follow the orders of the Attorney General. So this is the point that we are now. And they are scared that I'm here in the United States because they know that I'm in contact with some American authorities, and Alexandre de Moraes, he is in risk to receive some Magnitsky Act sanctions, which means that he would lose his American visa and got his bank account blocked and things like that. So this week, a part of the Supreme Court, five justices from the Supreme Court, they were deciding if they are going to start the case against Bolsonaro and other 6 people accused of this Disneyland coup d'etat on January 8th of 2023 in Brazil. So during this judgment, as Felipe Martins is in the same case, all right? They were deciding about 7 people to start a process, to start a trial against them. But Felipe Martins is in the same case. So for sure, his lawyer would like to go there and see this judgment. But he was forbidden to get inside of the room. He got really, and he tried a lot, like he's a very polite man. He's a former high-level judge, the lawyer of Felipe Martins. His name is Sebastião Coelho. And he tried to get into the room, which is his right. He's a lawyer, you know. You cannot prevent a lawyer to follow all the steps of a judgment that is straight, direct, connected with your client. But he was forbidden to go inside of the room. And at a point, one of the secretaries of the Supreme Court said that Alexandre de Moraes told him to arrest the lawyer. So this is just unbelievable. Alexandre de Moraes is so powerful. He feels so comfortable to do whatever he wants that he can do things like that. And the whole world is watching. This is a witch hunt that everybody is looking. And it's not only against Felipe or Jair Bolsonaro, it's against some other people, the whole right-wing movement led by Jair Bolsonaro. So in fact, who is on trial is not only Bolsonaro, but the whole movement that he represents. And is a hope, and there is a hope of this movement can save Brazil from the risks of socialism. So the Supreme Court, what they are doing is they are trying to jail Jair Bolsonaro. If you, for example, if you compare this case of the coup d'état from Disneyland with the case of the corruption scandal that we call Mensalão during the Lula's first term when he was president at the beginning of the 2000s. It was a corruption scandal that the executive, like people around the president, they were paying monthly the congressman to vote in favor of the government. If you take these two cases, you are going to see that on the Lula's scandal, it took 7 months to finish the case, to get a judgment. And with Bolsonaro, they are doing that, like they're speeding up so much that even in January vacations in Brazil, the Attorney General was with his team fully concentrated in this case. What they are doing is they are trying to speed it up as fast as possible to convict Jair Bolsonaro. And so Jair Bolsonaro cannot run on the next year election. We are going to have elections in October 2026. And Bolsonaro is leading all the polls. Every time that we have a new poll in Brazil, Bolsonaro is getting better and better because Lula da Silva is dragging the country to a deep economic crisis. So, in the end of the day, even if Lula sent millions and millions of dollars to the legacy media, it is not working anymore because when you go to the supermarket, when you go to a gas station, people is feeling the inflation. And this is all, you cannot ride all of that. So that's why they are doing this. And all the other cases that they made a carnival, they tried to create a narrative to incriminate Bolsonaro. So their silver bullet is try to involve somehow Bolsonaro with this Disneyland coup d'etat. And I call Disneyland coup d'etat because on January 8th of 2023, Bolsonaro was in Orlando in Disneyland taking a rest, a vacation there. So he has no connection. There is no WhatsApp message connecting Bolsonaro with what happened in January 8th. But anyway, they are trying to create a narrative and imprison Bolsonaro and maybe imprison him for almost 40 years to see if someone inside of the prison can kill him. What is a very common fact in Latin America jails. So I was appointed by my party to be the chairman of the Foreign Affairs and National Defense Committee. For sure, I'm not there. I do not have this duty. So I appointed a close friend, a congressman also from my party, to be the chairman. His name is Felipe Barros. We are in touch to see what we can do through this, through the Foreign Affairs and National Defense Committee. And one of the things that he did, it was a promise that I also did, which is approve a requirement to invite Mike Pence to go to Brazil and expose the USAID case in Brazil, which means that talk about the Biden administration interference in our 2022 election. So doing this work so close with the chairman, we can push forward some of our issues. But on the other hand, I think my main work here in the United States is bring clear and precisely information to everybody in the Congress and in the White House, so we can create the right atmosphere to sanction Alexandre de Moraes. Because the problem is Alexandre de Moraes violated a lot of human rights. He arrested Felipe Martins when he knew that Felipe Martins did not run away to the United States in December of 2022. He arrested more than 1,000 people on January 8th. One of them, his name is Clésio, died in prison after the Attorney General asked Alexandre de Moraes to to let he go free and answer the trial freely. So you have a bunch of other things, and I'm not even talking about censorship that we had in 2022 elections, which was the main problem that Elon Musk, with a lot of courage, faced Alexandre de Moraes. And then he opened the emails that at that time Twitter changed with the Supreme Court and with the Electoral Court, with the Justice Committee of the US Congress. And in this case, he was showing how Alexandre de Moraes was ordering Twitter to censor, to block some profiles, conservative profiles in his social platform, and saying to Twitter, do not tell the blocked users that these orders were coming from Alexandre de Moraes. So this is all the atmosphere that is very clear. If we bring this information to the US authorities, they will apply the Magnitsky sanctions against Alexandre de Moraes. And this is a real message that can avoid the other 10 justices of the Supreme Court to keep it going on with censorship and human rights violations. Because no one wants to have their bank accounts blocked or lose their American visas. Most of the justices of the Supreme Court in Brazil, they have kids studying in the United States, they have apartments in the United States, they have banking accounts in the United States, and they really do not want to lose that. So to finish with this answer, the thing is, we need a higher force, we need a bigger power to come on the head of Alexandre de Moraes to tell him, okay, that's enough, stop with all of that, because you have someone here that is more powerful than you. And I'm sure that Trump's administration, they are fully concentrated, they are fully capable to do that. All of the social media platforms blocked during the 2022 elections was from right-wing. There was one radical left-wing platform that was blocked. It was from the PCO, Partido da Causa Operária. It's like a workers' cause political party. And they are really radical left. And these people, they were criticizing also Lula da Silva during the 2022 election. And they also got blocked during the 2022 election. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you criticize Lula, if you criticize the Supreme Court, you can face very strong problems in Brazil. What we are seeing is a witch hunt. This is not only about Brazil. We are also looking at in other parts of the world. And about the judgment of my father, President Jair Bolsonaro, it's not only him that is going on trial. He's going on trial in name of the whole political movement that he's leading. We had, if you go to YouTube, please watch that, the huge rallies that Bolsonaro is doing on Copacabana Beach. We are going to have other one in the beginning of April in São Paulo that will be for sure even bigger. So even with the threats of the repression, people is going to the streets because they cannot support anymore this kind of censorship, this kind of dirty game, sending people to the jail. People is getting angry with that and protesting on the street. And I hope the whole world is watching that. This is what we are trying to do in Brazil, trying to save our democracy. And we do expect that in a point, United States, the Trump administration will sanction Alexandre de Moraes and stop all of that. We do not want privilege to Bolsonaro family or to any right-wing politician. We only want a normal democracy where the opposition can say whatever they want with no risk to seize the passport, to freeze the banking accounts, or even go to jail because Alexandre de Moraes.
Obrigado por assistir Acontece News e não se esqueça de se inscrever no nosso canal.